Hello and welcome to the Johnversations Podcast. As always, I'm your host, John Connor, saying thank you for spending a little time with us this week. You may notice that this is a little bit of a mini episode. We did have a guest booked out. The incredibly talented singer, songwriter, musician, Rachele Eve was supposed to be hanging out with us this week, but sometimes things happen and there was an emergency. She had to reschedule, so we're going to have her on over the next month or so. But she's amazing. She's super talented. If you have the chance, head over to racheleeve.bandcamp.com. If you are listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, whatever, go into the show notes, click the link. We've got the link for Rachel's music there. Click it, get to know her. She is absolutely awesome. That way, when she does come on the show, if you're not familiar with her, you have a better sense of what she's all about. So definitely sorry that there's no guest this week, but we've kind of been off on. And, I want to make sure that we are being consistent. Sometimes life happens and we may have to miss a week or something like that, but I have some cool stuff planned for this week. But I wanted to ask you guys first, how has your week been? I hope everybody's feeling happy. Hope everybody is feeling healthy. Hope your families are good. And I hope that, in this crazy time, you're just getting some ease in your mind, right? It's sometimes the wheel just feels like it's spinning. We never get caught up. There's all this crazy stuff with COVID and people are trying to figure out how to work and take care of their kids. And it feels like it slows down and then picks back up. So I just hope you guys are doing great. I hope that, again, you're happy and you're healthy and that your day is full of hugs and just that, you're in an overall positive place. And if you're not, hopefully this week's episode will help you get there and we can bring some positivity to you and just try to lift you up. You guys may know my wife is doing her master's program now. So I've been spending a lot of time with the kid when I'm not working. And this week I was in charge of grocery shopping, which was fun. So we packed up in the car, me and the little one. We headed to Aldi, which if you live someplace where there is an Aldi and you don't shop at Aldi, go to Aldi. They don't sponsor the show. I wish they did. They would probably just send us empty boxes, but Aldi is amazing. I absolutely love it. It feels like we get exactly the same quality from, Kroger or Publix if you're down south or Meijer if you're up north. And the money just seems to stretch a lot farther. So definitely shout out Publix. Make sure you bring a quarter for the shopping cart because you want to make sure that you're able to get a cart. If you're not familiar with Publix, the carts are chained together and you do have to have a quarter to be able to pop in. It unlocks the cart and it just makes sure that people are returning the carts. They don't have to pay somebody to run around. It's actually kind of ingenious. It just stinks if you show up and you don't have that quarter. So come prepared. Make sure you have what you need. But I did realize that I am not the guy who should go grocery shopping for our family. And I don't know if you are like this. If you are, definitely send us an email, contact@johnversationspodcast.com. If you're watching on YouTube, drop it in the comments there. But I am the guy that, my wife sends me with a list and it's like majority healthy stuff like gluten-free crackers and, she likes the dark chocolate because she likes something sweet but not terrible for you. And I have no control. So I went and I ended up getting a bunch of Philly cheesesteaks, calzones. And then, being from Michigan and living in Tennessee, we don't have cider mills. So all my northern people know what we're talking about when we're talking about cider mills and going and getting the donuts and the apple cider and stuff like that. If you live in the north, it's a little bit of a tradition. It's the one thing that kind of bums me out a little bit every year. And luckily my mom is awesome. Shout out to all the moms out there, but she will every once in a while, she'll get a bunch of donuts. She'll freeze some apple cider and she'll overnight it. So it's like having home here in Tennessee. And Tennessee, we have pumpkin patches, but it's just not really the same thing. Like you can get a giant piece of cheesecake on a stick, but you can't get the apple cider and the donuts. So I was in Aldi and they have a seasonal section. And again, if you are someone who goes to Aldi, you're probably like, oh yeah, the seasonal section, right? I know exactly what you're talking about. That's, every if it's winter, they'll have like these crazy Christmas cookies. Fall, they have apple cider donuts, and it's 6 in a case. And I was with my daughter, and she was like, donuts? So like pointing, wanted donuts. And I was like, yeah, you're grocery shopping with dad. Like straight up, we're going to get some of those donuts. And there were 6 in a pack. And I was like, well, we may go through 6 kind of quick. So I got 2. I was like, I got to get 2 to be safe. So I did go ahead. I got 2 packs, 12, a dozen of apple cider donuts. And then I was like, well, we got to get the apple cider. And they had the big old jug. So I grabbed that. So I've been living my fat dad life, just smashing on apple cider and donuts. And it's so delicious. And again, you know, it's not the best for you. And I shouldn't be the one in charge of going to the grocery store, because I get M&Ms and donuts and apple cider, just stuff that like my wife would never get. But, you know, the kid likes going with me because she knows she's going to come home with something sweet. So shout out to all my other bad dads out there who, when you're going grocery shopping, you got to put what you want on the top of the list. I mean, I got pizza rolls, I got frozen pizzas, just all sorts of stuff, like 7 bags of tortilla chips. Because I've also, I don't know about you guys, but I've really been into chips and salsa lately. And like, I'm finding that I like a particular type of salsa. Like I'm kind of becoming like a salsa snob. So I don't know if anybody out there likes the sweet onion salsa, but I have been munching so hard on some sweet onion salsa. I also, like, growing up, we always had like the paste, or the, you know, like the Tostitos, where it's like the quote unquote like chunky. But now that I'm getting older, I like the chopped. It's a little runny, but it's got all the chunks of everything in it. Like a really good jalapeno salsa is delicious. And then Mexicali dip. I don't know if anybody listening kind of fucks around with Mexicali dip, but we used to be able to get it all the time in Michigan. And then I moved down to Tennessee, and, you know, just not able to find it as much. And I got to shout out to Aldi. Aldi's got it stocked. It's good. It's spicy. Again, Mexicali dip. Aldi does not sponsor the show. If they want to, feel free to hit us up. We'll continue to do free promotion, but it is absolutely delicious. So again, shout out to all my dads out there, or even the moms, right? Maybe the dad is real healthy and mom goes out and gets herself some treats. Just shout out to all the parents who definitely shouldn't be the ones in charge of the grocery shopping. So that has been my week, just hanging out with the kid. Hanging out with the kid, you know, doing the day job thing. It's you know, sometimes it feels like there's not enough hours in the day. And with the new hours at the day job, it's 4 10-hour days. So 9:30 comes and I'm hitting the sack and up at 5:30 in the morning. And, you know, it's an adjustment, but we're making it through. So if there's anybody listening, you know, maybe you've got this on while you are in class or studying, or maybe you're one of our listeners across the pond who's in university and you're listening. Again, you know, hopefully this is helpful to you and we feel your struggle. Speaking of listeners from across the pond, we actually found out, jumped into our analytics a little bit, which, you know, normally I don't do. Normally I just like to put up the show and, you know, the people who listen to it, listen and enjoy it and hopefully tell their friends about it. But looking into the analytics, I actually found out that 10% of our listening audience is actually listening in India through a platform called Ghana. So if you are one of our listeners in India, shout out. Thank you for checking us out every week and for coming back. Really appreciate it. Hopefully one day, once all this COVID stuff is over, we'll get a chance to come across and see what it's all about. But yeah, if you're listening anywhere, thank you guys. And that does kind of lead me to my next point, or the next thing I wanted to bring up this week is just want to say thank you for listening every week. And if you were a new listener, thank you for checking us out. We're super happy to have you. And I really like to think of my listeners as family, and we want to get feedback. We want to make sure that we're hearing from you. We want to, you know, make a community. Myself and Matt, who does our post-production editing, he's just an ace in the hole. He's a absolutely talented guy. And, you know, couldn't be happier to have a better partner in what we do. But we really want to make sure that, you guys are able to participate. And there's a couple of different ways that you can do that. You can follow us on the socials. We always want to talk to people. We absolutely love to hear what you have to say, what your thoughts on the show was, which guests you like, who you want to come on. Facebook, that's Johnversations on Facebook. Instagram, it's at Johnversations as well. Twitter is a Johnversation. Because again, you've heard me talk about it before, but some dude has the Johnversations Twitter handle. He hasn't posted anything, I don't think, since like 2014, but we just went with a Johnversation on Twitter. So definitely check us out there. Also, with the new website that we have out, you can go right to the website and you can leave reviews for the show. So if you listen to Apple Podcasts, right from the website, which is johnversationspodcast.com, you can go in, click that review button. You can review us right on Apple Podcasts. You can leave, just a review on the website if you don't listen on Apple Podcasts. But, the more reviews that we get, the more people who are checking out the show and leaving their feedback, the whole algorithm, right? That's going to push us higher. It's going to get us out to more people. And, if you're digging what we're doing, that's the whole goal, right? We want to get to as many people as possible. So definitely let us know. Let us know what you think. Share the show with your friends, right? If you like an episode or you like one of the guests, let people know. We're going to be doing some giveaways here soon. Just some cool stuff. We really want to drive the engagement. So make sure you're following us on the socials. Make sure you're leaving those reviews. We do have a merch store. You can buy something if you want. Again, the link for the merch store is at johnversationspodcast.com. It's also in the show notes, whether, again, you're watching on YouTube, listening on Apple Podcasts, anything like that. But again, I know that times are tough, right? Not everybody's got a bunch of extra money laying around. So if you can't buy a shirt or, a face mask or something like that, that's cool. Like, just, share it with your friends. That's the coolest thing that you could do for us. So in that vein, kind of talking about community and things of that nature. A couple months ago, I put up a post on our Facebook page. So we're gonna play a little game here. It is one of our recurring segments, questions from the internet. So let's hit that theme. Awesome. So we played a little game on the socials, and I have to tell you guys, I was laughing so hard. So I posed a question, and the question that I posed is, ruin a movie by changing a word in the title to foreskin. It's very mature. It's a very adult joke. And we got so many responses back. It was so funny. And, my plan was originally, I wanted to do a lot sooner, but we had guests and then there was time off and stuff like that. So we're revisiting today. And I wanted to read some of my favorite answers that we got for ruining a movie title by changing one word to the word foreskin. So first up, Miss Helene McGinnis with Schindler's Foreskin, which I think Steven Spielberg would have done a great job. It may have been a different tone of the film. But yes, Schindler's Foreskin, 5 stars, Rotten Tomatoes. Then we have Mr. Jonathan Michael with The Foreskin Collector, which is a play on the Bone Collector. It's a little bit of a deep cut. I believe it's Angelina Jolie and Denzel Washington project. So really like that one just because of how deep it was. Then we have this person came up with a laundry list. So if I didn't have her on the list for some of my favorites, I think she would be very offended because there were so many. It was like she was sitting at home at the kitchen table just scribbling them out. But Amy Joy Vega with Meet the Foreskins, which is obviously a play on Meet the Fockers. And I would love to see Robert De Niro take on the role of the foreskin. Talking to me? That's a terrible impression. And then we had Jonathan Boone with Secondhand Foreskin. It's a play on Secondhand Lions, if you've ever seen that film. Jay Tomlinson coming with the grossest one, I think, which is Pulp Foreskin. The great Quentin Tarantino, Pulp Fiction, Pulp Foreskin, reminded me of orange juice and really grossed me out. Donna Hayes had a couple on there as well, but she had The Devil Wears Foreskin, which I thought was just perfect. And then my favorite answer, I ran this by a couple of people. My wife thought it was hilarious. This is from our good friend Kurt Roy. He's been on the show. Kurt Roy of the band Sea Salt. He popped in with how to lose a foreskin in 10 days, which again, I could see Matthew McConaughey really bringing life to that. And Kate Hudson could really shine. So thank you guys so much for sharing your answers. It was so much fun to read through and laugh. They were just so funny. And we're going to do more stuff like that. Because again, I want to be able to come on here and talk about you guys and share your input and what you guys think is funny and just play little games like that. So be on the lookout for that. Again, that'll be on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Just keep an eye out on it. And really the last thing that I want to talk to you guys about is we do have, we've got guests booked out now all the way until November. And there's some folks coming on that I am super excited about. Next week, I'm going to have the opportunity to sit down with Miss Alex Angelis. Alex Angelis is a crazy talented actress, actor, writer. I mean, she does a bunch of stuff. You may have seen her in The Magnificent Seven. And then also you can check out, if you guys don't have Shudder. Shudder is not a sponsor of this podcast, but this movie I found it so much fun that if you have Amazon, if you have something like Roku, something like that, Shudder does a free 7-day trial. You can hop on, get the 7-day trial. Again, they don't sponsor us. I'm just telling you because I like this movie. And the movie is called The Cleansing Hour. Check out the trailer. It's super good. One of the more creative horror films that I've seen in years. And it came out, kind of right before the pandemic. It is a Shudder original. But she's coming on to talk about her career, that movie. We're gearing into the Halloween season. I've got a lot of spooky Halloween guests coming up. That I'm really excited for. Maybe some costumes, maybe some spider webs, some cool stuff, right? So make sure you're subscribing on Apple Podcasts. Make sure you're checking out the website for when those episodes drop. Make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're somebody who watches the videos. Turn those notifications on. Just keep an eye on those episodes. So that's all I had for you guys this week. Again, not really a very long episode, but I, just again, wanted to say thank you for all the support. Wanted to say thank you for tuning in every week. Again, if you're new to the show, thank you for spending time with us, hanging out, checking it out, and just tell your friends, let them know. Again, this is my favorite thing that I get to do with the free time that I have, is just to kind of come on here and talk to cool people and hopefully introduce you guys to some people that, that you find interesting. So let us know who your favorite guest has been. If there's a guest you want to see on, again, hit us up, Johnversationspodcast.com, contact@johnversationspodcast.com. Hit us on the socials, however you want to do it. But again, just wanted to say thank you guys. Hope it's a great week. Look forward to seeing you guys on the next one. Stay happy, stay healthy. And again, thank you for spending a little time with us.